The first scream didn't sound human. It echoed through the old abandoned house like the walls themselves were crying. Emily Carter dropped her flashlight as she heard her little brother, Noah, shouting from upstairs. "Mom! Dad! Something's in my room." The whole family rushed to the second floor, tripping over dusty boxes and broken floorboards. When they reached Noah's door, it slammed shut by itself, so hard the windows shook. Emily grabbed the handle, but it was ice cold, freezing her skin. "Noah, open the door," she yelled. No answer. Her dad forced the door open, and what they saw inside didn't make sense. The room was glowing a dim blue color, even though there were no lights. Noah was crouched in the corner, shaking, pointing at the wall. "It came out of the wall," he whispered. A hand came out of the wall. Before anyone could react, the blue glow flickered, then moved to the other side of the room. The wall there began to bulge outward, like something inside the house was pushing to escape. Emily backed away. Her mom covered her mouth. Her dad whispered, "What is that?" The wall cracked. A long human-like hand slowly slid through the crack, fingers stretching unnaturally. It reached out toward them. Noah screamed. Then the entire room went dark. That was the moment the Carter family realized the abandoned house they moved into was nothing like the pictures online. It hid something alive, something waiting. Everything had started earlier that day, when they first arrived at the old farmhouse on Old Willow Road. The place looked peaceful from the outside, white paint peeling, wide porch, tall grass blowing in the wind. Emily thought it looked cool and vintage. Noah thought it looked haunted. Their dad laughed and said, "It's just old, buddy. Houses creak." But the moment they stepped inside, Emily felt it, that heavy feeling, like someone was watching from a corner you couldn't see. The air inside was colder than outside, even though it was a warm summer afternoon. Dust floated in the sunlight. The floors groaned under every step. The stairs squeaked like someone had just walked on them seconds before. "This place is perfect," their mom said gently, trying to keep spirits high. "Once we clean it up, it'll feel like home." But Emily wasn't so sure. In the kitchen, they found a drawer full of old letters. Some were stained, some torn, many unreadable, all addressed to someone named Margaret, with no last name. Noah asked, "Who's Margaret?" Their dad shrugged. "Probably the old owner." Then came the first strange thing. When Emily walked into the living room, she found a rocking chair slowly rocking by itself. No wind, no open windows. It just rocked, back and forth, back and forth. She called her mom, but by the time she arrived, the chair had stopped moving. Her mom said it was just settling. But Emily didn't believe that for a second. Later, they started unpacking in their rooms. The wallpaper upstairs was peeling in strange patterns. Some pieces looked like long scratch marks. Others looked like they were torn by someone dragging their nails down the wall. Noah's room was the coldest. Emily could see his breath even though the house didn't have air conditioning. That evening, as the sun set, their dad turned on the lights. But only Noah's room stayed dark. The bulb flickered, buzzed, then popped loudly. That's when Noah said he felt someone breathing behind him. When he turned around, no one was there, just the mirror facing his bed. And in the mirror, for a split second, he saw a tall woman with long dark hair standing behind him. He ran out of the room crying. Their parents tried calming him down, saying he was tired, that moving was stressful. Emily stayed quiet. She believed him. Night came fast. The house looked different in the dark, bigger, emptier, and somehow alive. Strange noises echoed through the halls, scratching, footsteps, and once faint humming. Emily barely slept. Then, at midnight, Noah's scream broke the silence. The glowing wall, the hand reaching out, the room going dark. And now the entire family stood in total darkness, unable to see Noah, unable to see each other, only hearing the slow sound of something dragging itself across the floor. Emily whispered, trembling, "Mom, something's in here with us." A voice whispered back, a woman's voice, "You shouldn't have come." The lights suddenly flickered back on, and something stood in the corner of the room. Something tall, something wrong, something that used to be human. Emily opened her mouth to scream. The thing standing in the corner didn't move at first. It just stared at the family, if staring was even possible. Its head was tilted far to the side, like its neck couldn't support it. Its skin looked stretched, too tight, almost like it didn't belong on the bones beneath it. The eyes were dark shadows, deep and hollow as if someone had carved them out. Emily couldn't breathe. Noah grabbed her arm so tightly it hurt. Their mom whispered, "Don't move." but the thing knew they were there. It lifted its head slowly, bones cracking, and stepped forward. The light flickered wildly as if afraid of the creature too. Emily felt the temperature drop until it felt like winter inside the room. Then the thing spoke. "You took my house." Its voice wasn't normal. It sounded layered, like multiple voices speaking at once. One was a woman. One was a child. One was something else entirely. Their dad stepped in front of the family. We didn't know anyone lived here," he stuttered, even though he knew no one had lived here for decades. The creature tilted its head again. "No one lived here. But I never left." The walls around them creaked. The floorboards groaned like something was crawling underneath. The air filled with the smell of old wood and something damp, something rotten. Suddenly, the lights went out again. Emily felt something brush against her shoulder. Noah screamed. Their mom grabbed them both, pulling them toward the door. "Run," she shouted. But the door slammed shut before they reached it. Locked. Impossible to open. The family was trapped in the dark with something that wasn't human. They heard footsteps. Slow. Dragging. Coming closer. Emily fumbled for her phone, shaking so badly she almost dropped it. When the screen lit up, the faint glow revealed the tall figure standing only a few feet away. Its mouth opened unnaturally wide. "You shouldn't be here," it whispered again. Emily screamed. Her dad rushed forward with all his strength and rammed into the door, breaking the old wood. The family stumbled out of the room and into the hallway, panting, terrified. The hallway stretched long and narrow, dimly lit by a single flickering bulb. "Downstairs. Now," their dad shouted. They raced toward the stairs, but halfway down, they froze. A woman stood at the bottom step. She was transparent, floating, wearing an old blue dress shredded at the bottom. Her hair hung in tangled strands, hiding half her face. Her feet didn't touch the floor. But worse than that, she was smiling. A smile too wide, too cold, too empty. "You're not safe in the dark," the ghost whispered. "But you're not safe in the light either." The bulb above flickered. Emily grabbed Noah's hand. Their mom backed them up the stairs. "Who are you?" their dad asked, voice shaking. The woman smiled wider. "I lived here once. I died here once. And you came back." Before anyone could react, she lifted her hand and pointed toward the hallway behind them. Emily turned slowly. The tall creature was coming down the hallway. "Fast. Go," their mom screamed. The family ran into the nearest room, the old master bedroom. Their dad slammed the door shut behind them, pushing a dresser against it. But something hit the other side immediately. Hard. The entire dresser shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Emily covered Noah's ears as the banging grew louder and louder. Something scraped along the door like claws. The creature whispered from the other side. "You took what's mine." Emily's mom looked at her dad. "This house, it doesn't want us here." "No," he said. "It wants us gone." The banging suddenly stopped. Silence. Emily pressed her ear against the wall. Nothing. No footsteps. No breathing. No whispers. Just quiet. Then Noah pointed toward the walk-in closet. "There's someone in there," he whispered. Emily felt her heart drop. A shadow moved inside the closet. Slowly, like someone waiting for them to notice. Her dad grabbed a lamp, raising it like a weapon. He stepped forward and pulled the closet door open. The room fell silent. Inside the closet was a tiny wooden door they hadn't seen before. Old, cracked, covered in dust. It was barely big enough for a child to crawl through. Noah whispered, "That wasn't there earlier." Emily stared at the door. She felt something strange, like cold air drifting out from behind it. Her mom grabbed her dad's arm. "Don't open it." But the tiny door opened by itself. Slowly, creaking. Inside was nothing but empty blackness. Then something reached out from the darkness and grabbed Emily's hand. She screamed as the thing pulled her inside the tiny door. Emily didn't even have time to breathe. One moment she was standing in the dusty master bedroom, and the next she was yanked through the tiny wooden door into pitch-black darkness. Her scream echoed like the darkness swallowed it whole. "No, Emily," her mom cried, trying to reach in, but the door slammed shut between them so hard the whole wall shook. Emily fell onto cold dirt. The floor wasn't wood anymore. It felt like old ground, damp and uneven. Her phone slipped from her hand, its weak flashlight rolling across the floor, barely lighting anything. She scrambled toward it, but a freezing hand brushed her ankle. She jerked her leg away. Something whispered behind her, "You're finally here." Emily picked up her phone and shined it around. The tiny light revealed long, narrow walls stretching endlessly, like she was inside a tunnel under the house. Cobwebs hung from cracked stone. Old children's drawings covered the walls, stick figures, crooked faces, scratch marks. "No, no, no," she whispered, her voice shaky. Then she saw footprints in the dirt. Small ones, barefoot, leading deeper into the darkness. Emily tried crawling backward, but something blocked her path, something cold, firm, unmoving. She slowly turned the light upward. A pale face stared back at her from the wall. Not painted, not carved, stuck, like someone was buried inside the wall. Eyes open but empty, mouth frozen in a scream. Emily dropped the phone. It hit the floor and spun until it pointed farther down the tunnel, where a shadow moved. Slowly, a figure stepped forward. A little girl, wearing an old white nightgown torn at the bottom. Her head tilted in that same unsettling way as the creature in Noah's room. Her hair hung over her face, dripping like it had been underwater. Emily crawled backward, shaking, and whispered, Please, please don't hurt me." The girl lifted her head. "You moved into my house." Her voice echoed as if more than one person spoke at once, an adult, a child, and something deeper. Emily's heart pounded. We didn't know. We didn't mean. The girl stepped closer. Her bare feet made no sound. "You came anyway," she whispered. "Just like the others." Emily felt tears burn her eyes. "Where are my parents? My brother?" The girl stopped moving. She lifted her hand and pointed behind Emily. Emily turned slowly. The wall behind her now had two more faces in it. Fresh faces, still moving, eyes blinking. Her mom. Her dad. Their mouths whispered silently, like they were trying to call her name. Emily screamed and slammed her hands against the wall, but her parents' faces sank deeper into it, fading like shadows disappearing underwater. "No, Mom. Dead," she cried. A cold hand rested on her shoulder. Emily spun around and faced the little ghost girl again. "They are not gone," the girl whispered. "Not yet, but they will be soon." Emily backed away, sobbing. "Why are you doing this?" The girl's expression changed, not angry, but sad. "It wasn't supposed to be me," she whispered. "He took me first." Emily stopped crying. "He." A deep rumble echoed down the tunnel. The girl stepped back, eyes widening with fear for the first time. "You shouldn't be here when he wakes up." Emily's breath caught. "Who wakes up?" The girl looked past Emily into the darkness behind her, voice trembling. "The one who never left." A massive shape pressed against the far wall, so tall and wide the tunnel seemed to bend around it. The air turned freezing cold, Emily's breath fogging instantly. Something enormous crawled out of the shadows. Long arms, longer claws. A face that wasn't a face, more like a mask stretched across bone. The ghost girl whispered one final thing. "Run." Emily turned and bolted, sprinting down the narrow tunnel as the creature's huge limbs pounded behind her. Dirt shook loose from the ceiling. Walls cracked. The tunnel seemed to twist, shift, change direction. Emily's lungs burned. Her legs ached, but she didn't stop. Behind her, the creature roared, a deep, horrifying sound that echoed through the underground passages. She turned a corner and saw something ahead. A ladder, leading upward. Emily ran for it, but the ground suddenly split open. A giant hand burst through the dirt, grabbing her ankle and pulling her down. Emily screamed, clawing at the ladder rung. "I won't let go, I won't. But the creature wasn't alone now. Dozens of pale, ghostly hands reached up from the ground, grabbing her arms, her legs, her waist. No. Emily's fingers slipped. The tunnel filled with darkness. Her scream was swallowed whole, and the abandoned house above became completely silent.